I'm glad you said that because I do feel that like the unknown makes me feel good.
Yeah, dude.
And it actually motivates me. I feel a lot motivated, and like when I just moved here and everything was like unknown to me, I was like, "Whoa, let's fucking go, man!"
Dude, like let's set up life now, bro, from scratch, bro. It's like honestly, it feels like starting a new game, bro.
Yeah.
It's legit like fucking opening a new game. You get like a new life from fucking zero. And you're like, okay, how organized is this life?
But it's not fully from zero, is because you already unlocked a bunch of skills and weapons that are coming with you to this new
It's like new game plus, dude. Your brain, your previous experience, dude. I know.
I love that.
Hell yeah, man. Great put, greatly put.
Alright, let's do it. What's good?
Hey, how's it going, yo?
We're back here at Indicouch. You know it. It's the chillest. What is it? You know the slogan.
Bro, the chillest smoke sesh online, bro. As always, man.
You know it, man. I'm your host, Eddie Fernandez,
and I'm your host, Vini MC. And we're here today with another topic for you, man. Another fucking interesting ass.
The coolest people to smoke with, man. We got some intense topic today. Well, not intense, but like it's a little bit more about kind of like insight and like kind of like checking yourself up. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very it requires a lot of like self-awareness, and it requires you to kind of like make decisions onto what you really want with your life.
Right.
Man.
Well, I think that if we're gonna talk about these things, which has to do with awareness and connecting and kind of like growing and stuff, we should get in touch with that. With some bong hits from the fucking force, man.
Hell yeah, man. Gotta feel the force flowing through us, man.
Hell yeah.
To connect with Mother Nature.
Well,
yeah, man, I love how you transitioned into that, man. That was beautifully put. I gotta say.
You said how like it was like self-awareness, man, and I was like, man, let's get woke.
Let's get woke.
I forgot the most important part, man.
I was gonna say, man, I think you need a screen on that wall over there.
I got it, bro.
I swear we totally prepped for this before this, man. We totally had this whole thing prepped out.
Dude, one day we're gonna have a guy that's gonna get everything ready and we're just gonna show up and smoke, man.
Man, it's gonna be, dude, you're gonna see it's gonna be super, like, professional looking, except super casual at the same time. Like, in front of the screen it's gonna be super casual, and behind us is gonna be, like, a full, like, all, like, office and, like, editors. And
like a studio and everything.
Yeah, dude, all these serious people, like, doing their actual jobs, and just us, like, getting high and talking to people.
Yeah, man.
I believe,
you know it.
To be honest, I believe, man, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, man. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not, dude? Why not?
Yeah, man.
If you want to help out by like sharing this or like commenting down below what you think about the podcast, we really appreciate it.
Man.
Reviews and feedbacks.
Also, if you're watching this and you want to host us on your channel, you can easily type /host and then tag us on the chat, and it'll help us to get more views and stuff if you want to support us.
Hell yeah, that would be pretty much appreciated as always.
Actually, I could do that too. But I'm busy being a podcast host.
Yeah, man, we're already hosting over here, but we gotta host ourselves twice.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna head off this first time, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, do the thing, man. Do your thing. Because meanwhile, I do actually feel like we should like at least somewhat introduce the topic. You know, it's kind of cool. It's like ironic that we haven't even brought it up so far yet. Man. We're kind of like procrastinating and bringing up the topic.
It's harsh, man. I don't want to talk about
it. Yeah, man. It's like we're making all the excuses possible not to talk about the actual topic we're here for today. We're
Which is
discussing.
perfect.
Yeah, bro, it's so very much
It's
ironic.
perfect, man.
But today we're discussing procrastination. You know, procrastination,
And comfort
and
zone.
also our comfort zones, man.
Yeah, man.
How it all relates to developments and just kind of take our own approaches and viewpoints on it.
Yeah, man. I think it's important we
Interesting.
talk about it because even though we're all about being chill, we're all about having a good time and everything. It's we also want to take the chance to like we're no experts on any of the topics we talk about mostly,
Right.
but we like to share our experiences and maybe some life hacks or tips that could help people, you know, and like or maybe it could the fact that we're talking about procrastination can make you feel like you're not alone on this, you know.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
mean, the idea is to just share like the knowledge that kind of we've gathered from our own experiences. Show you that like it's not uncommon. Other people also go through it. And if you end up like learning or taking some kind of like motivation from this, and you decide to take this as your like sign to start doing something, then all the better. All the better for it. But I feel like that's the important part, man. We gotta like share the information and just discuss it, talk
Right.
about it.
Also, if you hear any gunshots right now, they're not gunshots. We live in the most fireworky city in the world. If it's not competing,
Europe, bro,
it's probably
sure.
competing with China or something.
Hell yeah, man.
And so like if you hear any bangs outside, it's that.
That is, bro.
Yeah, we're on a time of the year where that's going on every day. That's why we're doing also this at 6 p.m. and not 2 because at 2 we got the mascletas here in Valencia.
Yeah, also true, man.
Yeah, man.
Also true.
My fucking bed vibrates every fucking day.
Oh, for real? It's that bad, bro?
Yeah.
You actually feel
like I'll be sleeping, and you know how like when you're in a concert, you feel like the bass of the music vibrating through your chest and your clothes.
Yeah.
Alright, that's how I feel with the fireworks every morning.
Bro, what the fuck, bro? I mean, I know they bad, but I didn't realize it was that bad, man. I mean, to be fair, you're also like right here, man. You're right around the corner from them. So shit, it makes sense.
I'm like 300 meters from it, bro.
Yeah, bro, fuck. Shit.
Yeah, man.
Yo, man, but like, so going into the actual topic of today's podcast, man. Let me ask you, like, how does procrastination come about, like, for you?
Yeah, man. Well, I do struggle a lot with it. A lot. It's a big thing for me. I have to like fight it a lot, and I think it really comes from like here. Hold on, let me finish this.
Yeah, for sure, man. Gotta get in the right mindset to answer the question. I understand. We all understand over here, but don't worry.
Yeah, man. You know. Oh. The struggle. Okay, here we go. Try not to push it too hard.
Yeah, for sure. Cause
it's kind of being a dick.
But yeah, tell me.
But yeah, man. Oh yeah, go ahead. So, sometimes procrastination to me shows up because I've learned and I've worked so much in my life to not stress out about things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to kind of like with the mindset of like stress makes you not think clear. It's not good for your health. Life is life. You can face it without stress. You don't have to stress about everything, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I've worked so much on that and anxiety and everything that it got to a point where I'm like way too relaxed about it. I like overworked it, you know? And now like nothing feels like urgent to me.
So you went from you went from one end of the spectrum to the other completely, dude.
Right.
Okay.
And but that's one aspect for me, and the other aspect for my Chilean homies, "Estás matando un weón." People will get it. If you're from Chile, you know. Anyways, I'll explain it to you after the podcast.
Sure, man.
Yeah, man. Anyways, like when I work on music, that's really hard for me because the perfectionist in me, kind of like for example, when I was younger and I was living in Chile or in the U.S., I had places, spots, times, days to go somewhere and fully focused on writing and recording.
Yeah. Okay.
And like now I don't have that. So like I have to like start getting into this habit of like not needing those environments in order to write
Mm-hmm.
and produce and etc.
Mm-hmm.
So like now I have to like get on the rhythm of not having to wait for the perfect timing to write and like actually do it.
I get
Yeah,
you.
man.
I guess. I mean, it can sometimes be a lot easier to like make like become kind of creative or like train your mind to be creative when you have these like allocated slots in your calendar or like in your agenda where you're doing something. You're like doing a specific type of work.
Right,
You
and
know?
you
So,
forget about everything else.
yeah.
Like I would go to my grandparents' farm,
Mm,
get away from everything,
yeah.
be alone,
Mm-hmm.
no phones, no, like Facebook, social media, no
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Right, I feel you.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's interesting that you said that, man. Because like for me, for example, I never personally had a problem with anxiety. You know, I've always just been kind of like super laid back overall.
Okay.
But then like what I do have a problem with, especially particularly like taking in like creative like tasks and creative jobs, is I have a problem like actually finishing it. Like actually
Yeah.
completing
Me
that
too.
last like 10% and actually handing it in, just because I'm never like fully satisfied with the work.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'll always be like, no, I can do a little bit better. Just give me a little bit more time. No, I can do a little bit better. I just need a little bit more time.
Yeah,
And,
man.
like, with that, I end up not actually finishing it and just kind of, like, dropping, like, a lot of projects.
Because eventually you drag it on so long that like you're working on it for so long that you get tired of it.
Yeah, yeah. Also, like, the inspiration, like, goes away a lot of the time. You know, a lot of projects are very much based on, like, what you're feeling in this moment. And, like, when you're
Yeah,
channeling
man.
that feeling, you're like, okay, I know exactly where it needs to go. But then if you drop it for like 2 weeks, you come back, you can't really remember like where was this going, like where did this
Right.
go?
Yes.
Why was I doing it like this to begin with?
Yes.
You start asking yourself all these questions.
That's true, man. That's true. I feel that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
One time I took 2 months to produce one song.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, man. Like everything was recorded, the beat was made, but I just like I was like going crazy with it. I had to like fucking fix every little detail, and I couldn't get it right until today. Like it's like I finished it, I published it. It's my song on YouTube, Otra Noche Más with Dave. Shout out. Um, but like it took me 2 months, and even till today, I feel like it could be so much better. There's so many details that I could have fixed, or that I just didn't get to it. Uh, and I could even list you many right now that I have memorized because I hear it every time I listen to the song. Like for example, my voice is much louder than Dave's voice. There are some parts of the beat that could be mixed better, so it sounds like one beat instead of many things,
Right, that is true. But see, the main thing about that is that like you like at some point you did like call it finished as much as it was like
because someone else was involved. Dave was waiting for the song.
Right.
If Dave wasn't involved in the song, it was just me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would have ever finished it.
Yeah, I feel you. Remember, like, see the experience of having that song finished and like allowed you to like play it over and over again in its finished form, and so that you kind of like learn from it,
Yeah.
So that's something that I've noticed also in my own work. Like, you do learn a lot more from like calling a project finished, even if it's not like 100% where you want it to be. Yeah. Call it finished.
Yeah, because next project somewhere you're gonna take some steps to avoid all that struggle.
Yeah. Plus, you're gonna get some sort of feedback from having it finished, like that finished amount, right? Like that finished set.
The other thing about arts and creative jobs is that sometimes we are really perfectionists with our own job, with our own work, and then you finish it. You're not satisfied with it, but you have to finish it. So you finish it, you publish it, and then like in my case, music. Like people listen to it, and all of a sudden, some people are commenting that they like something that I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's when you like get back. You put your feet down to the ground and remember, it's like shit. This is fucking art. There's not a right or wrong in this,
Right, yeah.
And, like, there's taste for everything, and, like, if it came out like this is how it's supposed to be, and people will actually like it, and some other people will not like the shit I did like about it. You know, so like in that sense, like yeah, man, like procrastination is harsh, man. It's harsh, and if you're doing like freelance or you're independent, that's really hard too because you got no one keeping you like on check.
Mm-hmm.
You got no one that
True.
wants to like no due dates, no schedule. You gotta like self discipline yourself.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's especially hard when you have to like check yourself, and like it depends on your own kind of like drive and desire to achieve something to actually create it, man.
Right. Yeah,
I
man.
get it, man. Yeah, no, honestly, like a big, like something that I procrastinated a lot on was actually like this podcast overall, man. Like this in the whoa, damn,
I got me jumping. That was a Cherokee. That's what they call him here, dude.
Shit, I see.
Yeah,
Crazy shit. Man, but anyways, dude, like this whole like podcast in the couch idea has been in the works for like about 2 years, man. Like that's when I first fought, when I like first kind of like really thought of the idea. I was like, yo, it
well,
can
dude,
happen.
you were missing the right co-host,
Yeah,
dude.
man, absolutely, that's the thing.
Yeah, man. You know, that same for me, bro.
Yeah, dude, but yeah, so at some point it was just about like pulling the trigger and being like, we got why not just start? You know, I always just thought, no, we need like a following to start, or we need to have like proper studio space, or we need this. In reality, you know, you don't need a lot of things, man. You just need to be able to like record.
You just need to do.
Yeah, you need to actually take action.
Because like you're not gonna generate a following with no content to show, you know.
Yeah.
And even if your content's shitty, it's a start, you know. Like, but like same for me, man. Like I've been wanting to do a podcast with my friends in Chile for years. We've been talking about this, and like 6 years I lived in Chile, never got down to it. And like we always had the time, the opportunities, and everything, man. And like we just didn't do it. But yeah, man, I'm glad we got to do it.
Hell yeah.
But you know one thing I was gonna say, like in procrastination, like it's I feel like you gotta find a point where maybe like find some sort of habit of work and timing that doesn't feel like you have to do a lot of work, and at the same time it's not too little. Like for example, like some people think that when they are doing independent work jobs or like working from home and stuff, they think that they have to sit in their desk 8 hours straight to work at home, and it doesn't have to be like that, you know.
Right.
If you're not doing something that requires like to do it at a certain time because of interactions with people, like for example music production, I record everything and then everything else I can do it at home whenever the fuck I want. If it's 3 a.m., I'll do it at 3 a.m., you know. And like in that sense, I think that like for example, if you set yourself to, I don't know, work an hour at I don't know, like 10 a.m., then work another hour at like maybe 11:30.
Yeah.
You know, and give yourself breaks in between, because like sometimes procrastination also comes from like a place of stress.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense of like you get this thought that you have to do all these things,
Right.
And you don't know where to start, and it becomes so overwhelming. So it's important to do it step by step, little by little. Don't overwork yourself. Don't think about all the things you have to do today. Think about just the one thing you need to do most urgently, and forget about absolutely everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And do that one thing. And once you get it done, see how you feel. Take a break of 5 minutes. Drink some water. Smoke something if you want or can.
If you want or can, I like that too. Or can.
Yeah, man. And then like see what's the next thing on the list. You know.
I mean, I agree, man. I feel like it's really easy to like see a task as this one giant monster that you have to like tackle. But like when you just break it down into individual steps of what you have to do, you see it becomes like a lot more achievable. You know, all of a sudden it doesn't seem so far away. You know, it seems just like daily kind of tasks.
Right. And if you do it constantly, your brain and body will get used to it. You know?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
You'll
that's
feel rewarded in the sense of like you're gonna end every day,
mhm.
and at the end of the day, that's when you think about everything you did. You know,
Mhm.
during the day, focus on each task at once. But then, like at the end of the day, you look back and it's like, oh shit, I did all these things. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely. I mean, also like for me personally, like one thing that works really well to kind of if I wanna kind of make like a long term like change in my life is I will like create a habit out of doing this one specific work on a daily basis. You know?
Right.
So
Right.
that's kind of what I've been doing. What I've been doing like with editing, with like the editing for the podcast, for example. I like to like wake up and just kind of like do at least a little bit of editing. It's like this first thing in the morning, just to like know, okay, so I can check that off my list. I've done it. Anything
Right.
anything that I do more like after this point is just like additional work, you know.
Right.
And like after like a couple of days, it just started. If you do it like bit by bit, it doesn't even have to be like an hour's worth of work. It can be like 20 minutes worth of work. It can be 10 minutes worth of work. But like over time, it starts to become a habit that you just wake up and you start working on this, and then you go do something else.
Right.
You know, and you don't even have to think about it anymore.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it, and also like for example, the reality of it too is that once you sit down and start, your brain forgets about all this overwhelming feeling, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, like you kind of remember why you do this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you start having fun maybe with it, or you start going in like in how do you call it? Like when you go at something and go, and like you're doing great and like nothing's stopping you.
You just get like tunnel vision kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's like when you're playing a video game and all of a sudden you start getting like 30 kills in a row. You know, like
Just get in the zone kind of
yeah,
shit.
man, yeah.
I feel yeah.
Yeah, and in that sense, uh, it does happen, man. Like especially if you're working on like the things that you like, and also like it helps you create a habit of like not having to do it motivated all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your brain starts getting used to do it at least 2 hours every day, you know, eventually you're not gonna be too bothered about the fact that like, oh, today I don't feel like it. You know?
Yeah, dude. No, man. I'm really glad that you brought that up, man. Because that's something that like I learned recently, man. You know, like I always had this idea that like you needed to be motivated. You need to have like this motivation to then like do something to then like create like some content to then like have something to post and then become motivated for more kind of shit.
Right.
That's how it started, man. But like realistically, it's like a loop, and that loop can start anywhere. You know?
Right.
Action can also lead to like motivation.
Motivation,
You know? It can
exactly.
also just go around and lead into motivation. That's
Yeah, it
Honestly,
goes
that's-
back and forth. Yeah, man.
yeah, man. Honestly, that's the majority of the time. What you need to do is just take that first step and start doing something, and you will like the motivation will come with it as you kind of start to see progress.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Dude, sometimes like even on like this what we're doing the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
there are days where I don't feel like interacting with anyone, and I just want to like lay in bed all day and like sleep. But like we have to do the podcast, and like I kind of like just numb that part out and go at it, and then once we're setting up, I start getting motivated. You know, it's like, oh shit, like okay, this is work.
Yeah.
And then like, but this is our thing, you know.
Yeah.
And then once we start and like we have the music playing and shit, it's like, hell yeah, we're back, you know. And it changes, man.
It starts to become a vibe. I feel you.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel yeah, you're not gonna be for like as much as you might like want something and like want to see something become like grow and become something bigger. Like you're not gonna be 100% there like every single day. You know, you can't expect to be, man. You're gonna fluctuate, and that's when you need to have like not only you need to like catch yourself doing that and have an idea of how to like motivate get yourself to keep moving no matter like your state of mind, but also like having other people there to kind of like bring you up when you're feeling down, and also vice versa makes a huge difference, you know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's also the big thing, man. Because I feel like like the days that I'm not feeling particularly sociable, you're like kind of feeling sociable, so like your energy just kind of like brings mine up, and then like vice versa, you know?
Exactly, dude.
Like, yeah,
Exactly.
man. So it helps, dude.
Yeah, man. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, and this is why we chose these two topics too, because like, like if kind of like all the things we're saying right now
Mm.
also have to do with like getting out of that comfort zone, you know?
Yeah.
Like, cause like a lot of in order to like get stuff done, in order to do things right, in order to to reach goals, to be successful and go like farther and reach your like uh kind of like to get to your top of your abilities and use them and stuff like that
Yeah.
and become something out of it. uh like you need to get out of that comfort zone, you know. You really need
Right.
to. Sometimes it has to do with like getting over your ego. Sometimes it has to do getting over your like your laziness, you know, or like getting out of your home, you know, getting out of your bed,
No,
uh,
absolutely.
getting out of your routine. Maybe having to work with people that uh, not that you don't like, but maybe people that because I've had to work sometimes with people that it's not that I have something against them at all,
Hmm.
but they're so different that it's kind of like a little shock at the beginning.
Right. It's like it's people that you wouldn't normally interact with if you could choose to, right? Like,
Right.
yeah, you
But
just
then
kind of like
like
happen
once
to
you
have
get
to.
to it,
So
like you get comfortable and stuff.
yeah.
But like at first you gotta be like, okay, like I'm gonna sit in the studio for a few hours with this one person and two of us alone and like have to get a little bit intimate about some things because I'm gonna record something
Hmm.
that comes from the heart, you know, and I
Yeah.
have to I I have to be intimate with the artists I record because I have to like be able to kind of uh am- amplify their emotions.
Right. Right. Bring that emotion into the music.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
and that's something intimate, you know, like you talk about it. Maybe the artist like while they're singing or recording their piece, they get emotional,
Hmm.
you know, and you're like, it's just the two of you in the studio, and it's like, well, like, you want to talk about it, man, like, you know, and even that's good
Okay.
for me. I'll be there. I'll listen because like then like this person, no man, it's like I wrote this song to this person that passed away and blah 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 and like and this and it's like oh shit man that's crazy and I'll be able to comfort them but then now I know how important this song is, you know,
Yeah.
and I know what it's really about
Hmm.
and like let's make it about that. I've changed beats before.
Hmm.
I've been like, oh, the song's about this, dude. I have a better beat. Let's use this beat, man. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I get it, man. I feel you. It takes a lot. Like I guess it takes a lot of like self confidence to kind of like be able to express like intimate emotions with somebody else,
Yeah,
man. Like
yeah,
so, especially somebody that you just met.
right.
It's like man,
Well, there is
yeah,
also like a
I feel you.
context in there too.
Mm.
You know, as a musician or as an artist, you might be a little bit used to explain where your art comes from. You know,
Mm.
like same with tattoos. You know, like if you have tattoos that are meaningful to you, oh, everyone's gonna be like, oh, what does that mean, man? You
I
know,
mean,
like
yeah, yeah, for
yeah,
sure, man. But I feel like with tattoo, man, it gets there's like this, man. Eventually, you just kind of like you just like say some answer to
yeah,
like
that's
keep
true.
people happy.
That's
You
true.
don't really have to tell necessarily the whole
Especially to
meaning right to
strangers, full
everybody.
on strangers.
Yeah.
But then like then maybe you meet some people you've hung out a few times and they ask you and you explain it to them and you it's probably the millionth time you explained it still, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And but it's same with this knife, dude. Like it has some deep meaning, but I always say it's like, oh no, man, just like some friend who needed skin to practice, and I just like said, do whatever. That is real,
It
you
is,
know.
yeah. I mean, it's not a lie.
That
It's
is
just
what
not the
happened,
full truth.
right? But there's more to the story, right? Right, yeah.
Shit, man. Dude, but I feel like when we're discussing, if we're gonna talk like comfort zones, dude, the most like typical and like the most common one that like anybody that like most people kind of can see would be like if like moving from like the place you're born to or the place that you grew up in, you know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people have a lot of attachment to like the place where they're from.
Yeah.
And I mean, I somewhat understand. I understand that, but I don't particularly get it just because like it wasn't how I was like brought up. You know, I had the chance to be like moving around like quite a bit.
No, also when you get taken away from your homeland at an early age, that full attachment to it never becomes complete.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot easier to detach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. But yeah, man. But I can see how people can like get comfortable like in one spot, and it can seem like difficult to like move, man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't have to do maybe with them like, because like for example, my grandparents have traveled all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Met people from all over the world. They're very open minded people and everything.
Mm.
But they have never thought about moving away from that shitty ass city, bro. There's so many better options just in Chile, bro, and pretty nearby.
Yeah.
And they still want to be there. So like, I don't know, man. I guess like that happens. I have never been in a place that I could really be like, I need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need to.
Yeah.
Like I feel like as long as I really find whatever my goals, whatever place it is, I'll go for it, man. No attachment to any land or place.
No, to be honest, I mean it is. It just kind of keeps it like gives you like a different perspective in life. You know what I'm saying? Like when you just see how like people are living the same life as you, man, just like in a parallel kind of way.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like your way is not. It's not the only way of doing things. There are different ways to achieve the same purpose.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, like I do envy those people that have been in one place always and kind of like enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like because like I never had that, and I do see it sometimes, and it's like I don't envy them, but it's like I do feel happy for them.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that's cool, man. I appreciate it from like a third point of view, you know, and it's nice. I think like because like you create different types of connection with people. Mm-hmm. You maybe like get to find more life hacks about your life in your city if you're always there. You know, if you're always moving, you're always having to start from zero a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, like oddly enough, I feel like I am in my comfort zone when I am like moving around and like not staying still, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like more comfortable when I'm I guess in like new scenarios than I do in like very like familiar ones for like too long like periods of time, you know?
I'm glad you said that because I do feel that like the unknown makes me feel good.
Yeah. Dude.
And it actually motivates me. I feel a lot motivated and like when I just moved here and everything was like unknown to me, I was like, "Whoa, let's fucking go, man!"
Dude, like let's set up life now, bro, from scratch, bro. It's like honestly, it feels like starting a new game, bro.
Yeah.
It's legit like fucking opening a new game. You get like a new life from fucking zero. And you're like, okay, how organized is this life?
But it's not fully from zero, because you already unlocked a bunch of skills and weapons that are coming with you to this new
It's like new game plus, dude. You're bringing your previous experience, dude. I know.
I love that.
Oh yeah, man. Great put, really put.
And also, like, to think about it, like, not a lot of people in the world are able to be like, this is the fourth country I'm living in.
Right.
You know, like, and that's crazy, bro. Like,
it's a privilege,
and like I think like to be able to be like I'm moving to a new country on my own, but it's okay and I feel comfortable because I've had already experience on moving to a new country.
Right.
When I think about the fact that me at 26 years old, I'm able to say that and have been lucky enough to have the experience more than once.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no. Yeah. insanely grateful, but also just like it allows me to kind of like prove to other people that it's possible, you know? Because I feel like whenever you speak to somebody, especially somebody who spent like their whole lives living in the same spot, you're like, you know, you can just like pick up the things that you really like care about, and just kind of move them somewhere else, and it will
Yeah.
be the same. Like it won't be exactly the same, but like you will be just as happy, you know.
Right.
And like explaining that kind of concept to somebody, like it's hard sometimes, man.
Yeah. Actually, like I get that also, like in the sense of like wanting to have that new, because like to me being like parked up somewhere
Mm.
and settled means like, okay, I've been here a year
Mhm.
and I already feel like there's not a lot of surprises for me anymore. Obviously, like life is infinitely surprising because and like meeting people, you're always gonna be surprised.
Mhm.
But like more than that, like the city itself of Valencia, I don't know what more has to offer to me. Uh, no, that doesn't. It doesn't mean that like I'm unhappy. You know, like the reason like I I I feel good too because like I know everything and I'm happy with what it is. You know,
Mhm.
but now like when I got here, I was out every day, all day from early to late because I wanted to get to know everything and everything.
Yeah.
And once you know that feeling, you can't go back.
Mhm.
Like it's hard for me to think of like me sitting in a place forever because like I feel like after 2 3 years, I'm gonna be like, okay, like I know that there's more out there. Like why would I
Yeah.
not want to expand my knowledge and experience? You know, like there's a
Yes.
lot more out there. Why would I just stay here and miss out on all of that? You know?
Dude, yeah, honestly, like
Yeah.
the only thing I can like really compare it to is like getting your first tattoo, man. It's like once you get that feeling the first time,
Yeah.
that like curiosity just switches on in your brain. And you're like, what if I tried this over here?
Right.
And what if I tried it over there? And what if I tried? And then all of a sudden, this world that seems so big is like it just sort of like shrunk down, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit.
It's like
It's
drinking
actually
for the
reachable.
first time and then you try weed. All of a sudden, alcohol is not as hyped as it was before.
Which, speaking of, bro, if you wouldn't mind, bro, could you pass the bomb, bro?
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, bro. I was thinking about the same thing, man.
That would be very much appreciated, bro.
Here, I need this. But yeah, man. I was thinking, let's go for round 2, man.
Hell yeah, man. I think it's needed. Oh man. Yeah, so like, can you think of a time when I guess like you left your comfort zone that like it really like taught you something, or you really like took away something from it, either like good or bad?
Yeah, man. uh, well, I think the one time I really went out of my comfort zone, and it was kind of like when you go for this is this is not what it is, but like I'm comparing it to like maybe a guy going to ask out a girl that he feels that is way out of his league.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is when I did my first like music event.
Alright.
Because I went, I think I've told this story maybe on another episode, possibly.
Mm.
But like, I had no experience. I had just brand new equipment that I had just bought. I had just moved to Chile. I didn't know anyone in the industry, you know? And just kind of like went to a place, like a bar club, and like presented myself as the CEO, founder, and owner of High Beat Music Productions. And like,
I mean, it wasn't a lie, right? Like,
Right.
it's not a lie. Technically, you were.
right. I did bullshit a little bit saying like I produce events in the U.S. and I moved here to Chile because I want to expand in Latin America, blah blah blah. And like, that was a little bit of bullshit because I was not doing events in the U.S. Like my own. Uh, but uh, but like I like I was so nervous about that day. The entire walk to the place, because like a friend pushed me to do this.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that I had just bought equipment so I could start doing parties. I'll take it real quick.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay.
And
So yeah, man, you just. So yeah, so one of your homies just like pushed you into actually going to speak to that guy, to like the owner of the restaurant.
yeah, man, and like I on the entire way I was like, what am I gonna fucking say, man? I was trying to like maybe come up with some introduction. I was trying to like think like fuck, like what do I got to prove this guy that like and stuff. But I came in like once we crossed that door, kind of like my brain did like a switch.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of went on automatic almost.
I mean, that's cool, man. I mean, it was like from because like, you told me this story before, but from what you told me, like it seemed like that was a big turning point in
Yeah.
like, your whole like music career.
It really
There's
taught
a little
me.
bit less. There's some left, you.
It really taught me. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It really taught me, man, that like this with a combination of a few very specific like experiences I've had in my life has taught me to get out of my comfort zone, like socially,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact of like kind of like having more confidence and believing in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really like my thing is like I I was raised by a family that's really kind of like, oh, excuse me, oh, sorry, oh, please, can I, could I, like, please, like, that kind of, that's how I feel. And that's how I feel like I was raised.
To be like really polite.
Yeah,
like,
dude, like, too polite,
Okay.
That's how I feel that my family is a lot of times, and I don't like that at all. Like, so like but I was raised like that too.
Okay.
So there is a part of me that still is like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, I kind of like I've had some experiences that have helped me really to like break that, break out of that, and like just kind of like gain more personality, confidence, character, and go for it, man. Just kind of go for it. And like once I went for it and it worked.
Yeah.
And like it worked, but like a million times better than I expected. I was like, so this is what I get in exchange of like getting out of my comfort zone and doing something I would have never done.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And like the outcome is so much more rewarding, and it might not be the same day, might not be the first time, but totally the once you start, let's look at it as like stock, bro. Like, let's say your comfort zone is your bank account, is your wallet, is your money that you have on your own hands.
Yeah.
And to get out of the comfort zone is to buy stock.
Oh yeah, man.
You know, to buy actions. Once you buy actions, that money is not in your bank account and in your control anymore. It's out there until you buy it back or sell it or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
And in that sense, like a lot of the like big investments with like big like earnings are the highest risk ones, right? And the most likeliness of it is that maybe even the first 10 times you invest you might lose money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then the 11th time the reward is so big that like it makes up for the 10 past losses, you know? And that's kind of like how I feel with like getting out of a fucking comfort zone. Like if you really want your life to change, to move up, to like, because like if you don't want your life to be the same as it is right now forever, you gotta change. And to change, you gotta get out of your comfort zone. You gotta put yourself outside of your wallet, outside of your house. Be out there physically, be out there socially, be out there mentally. Forget forget about sitting down, forget about feeling nice, forget about being comfortable, forget about being at home. Forget about resting, man. While you're doing it, forget about all of that. Be mindful of like you're doing this right now. Let's fucking do it. And like you have to like there's I've heard so many like inspirational speakers and like also like all these like really successful like people and they're always like, dude, forget about being motivated, forget about being comfortable, forget about all that shit. Just go for it, man. Like it's gonna feel so much better, and eventually you even become addicted to that feeling.
Yeah.
And it's true. And in that sense, also like you kind of like become a lot stronger. I've become tolerant to a lot of things that are completely normalized to me, and my comfort zone has expanded. You know,
Man,
but
like I hear,
yeah, man.
dude, I completely hear what you're saying, dude, about like taking action and it feeling, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, man. Especially like, cause it's easy to be motivated for like an hour a day or like a week or so type of thing, but it's hard to stay motivated for like an entire month for an entire year. And we're talking like long term.
True motivation sometimes even lasts like a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly, man. So like, there's a lot of times when you're gonna like not want to work. But like the whole point is like you keep working, man. You grind through that not wanting to do it until like you come back to like the motivation, the like motivation kind of part of it, you know. So like your action kind of like motivates you to keep going.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's almost like you can compare it to like when you're like running and you get that like runner's high. You
Yeah.
know, like the second rush of endorphins, and you just kind of like keep going and you get a second win.
Yeah, man.
You know,
It's real, man.
it is real. Yeah, it
I've
is real.
felt it. Not like not the runner, not running, but like I've been like doing exercise and like you push it to like your fail point,
Mm-hmm.
but then like I've sometimes and rarely you get to like push through that point,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden like the pain goes away, bro, and it's crazy, and it's like if you were not tired at all.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like it's true. It's true in like running. It's true in like weightlifting, for example. It's true in like in sports. And it's true when you're like working and you just kind of become like inspired. You know, inspiration just kind of like makes you forget about like hunger or tiredness.
Yeah,
And
man.
just kind of makes you keep going.
Yeah, bro. That's a real thing.
Yeah, man. It's cool. It's cool to see like how like your mind can be so determined to like achieve something that like it just like puts all of like essential functions kind of like aside or like suppresses them, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, man. It's cool. The brain is really easy to trick, and we are very adaptable creatures too. And like if we learn how to hack ourselves and shit. Yeah, man. Like what's a time that you've gotten out of your comfort zone and it taught you or made you realize something?
Shit, man. Dude, dude, honestly, like I can't really think of a time that comes to mind, bro. Like, shit. I mean, I know that like it has happened, but I don't know, man. Like,
But maybe not career related. Maybe it could
no,
be
like I get you, bro. Not like career related or anything. I'm just trying to think. But nah, man. Like to me, like I think, dude, I think like the biggest like comfort zone that I ever kind of had to like overcome, really, dude, was when I had to like move out. Yeah, and then kind of just kind of
like from your parents.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like originally, just kind of like live by myself, man. Like the first time around, man, that was definitely like the first time when I was like I guess like the world just became kind of like.
And
Like,
you went to
open,
another
man.
country, right?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
that was
man.
the other thing, man. I didn't just like it wasn't just like me going to like another like down the road like or another city, dude. I legit just got like dropped off in the country, and then I was like, okay, cool. Now I get to do whatever the fuck I want, bro. And now
That is crazy.
it was trippy, dude. It was a trippy experience. Dude.
It's
And
a
that was-
very contradicting feeling too,
man,
to yourself.
Dude, no, it was dude.
It's liberating and scary.
Man, it was part of like because I remember like in the weed episode we talked about like how I remember saying that like I was like I wanted to be a stoner and that was kind of like involved in that decision, man, because at the time I was like I'm gonna be like completely by myself, let me see what the stoner life is actually like.
Right.
So like to actually get to like experience that, man, that was when I was like, oh,
Nice.
let me see what this is like, let me see if this is really like for me, type thing.
Right. Right. Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Were you scared? Were you worried about like shit? Did you go? Did you leave? Did you leave from China?
Yeah.
And then you moved to Germany or
No, dude, I was in the
Netherlands?
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
I was in the Netherlands. No, but honestly, like thinking back, that was the first time that like let's say like that was the first time in my life that I had like moved and like it made me realize like the ties that I had to like a place, because I always just thought of like China as just like I knew I wasn't gonna stay there, so I never really thought of
You
like
started
much of it.
missing.
And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, like all of these people and all of these memories are attached to this place, and that made me understand why it's hard for people to leave some place.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was also like everybody else is in the same position because they were all leaving, so like there's really no reason for me to stay here.
Yeah,
So I
man.
was like, I had to move.
It's crazy.
It was
It's kind of cool. I also had that realization of attachment to a place. I never missed Chile until I moved here.
yeah, man, right?
Yeah, even when I moved to the U.S. and I didn't want to move to the U.S. at the beginning.
Yeah.
I like didn't miss Chile. As soon as I got to the U.S., I was like, "This is fucking dope." So fuck Chile. But now that I'm here, I don't miss Chile. I miss my hometown. Some places.
Yeah.
Like maybe some areas that are normal that to have in a city in Chile that are here is not. And it's like I wish we had those kinds of places here. It's not.
Man, but yeah, but honestly, like that's kind of what I've learned. Like as much as like it was fun the time that I had growing up, like in Shanghai or like in Brazil or whatever. Like what I learned to like discern the place between like missing a place and missing the people there.
Yeah.
To be honest, like honestly, like missing the people. I've learned to like realize that I mostly just miss having those people around again.
Yeah, there's certain things that you might do with people.
Yeah.
Because like for example, like going back to the city, dude, that's so true, man. I fucking like there's this little plaza that's inside of like a block that was like I don't know, like fucking 80 by 100 meters, and it has grass, some trees, man, and some benches, and like me and my friend would meet up in that fucking place, biking, and like just chillers with a couple cigarettes, and then like maybe plan out what we're gonna do in the night or something or whatever. Right. And it was like our spot, and like it was chill as fuck, low key as fuck. Sometimes we would order food to that fucking plaza. We would like smoke weed and shit and everything. Well, my friend didn't smoke, but I would. And to be honest, there's not many places that look like that in here. I've looked for them. Yeah. Because like in Chile and in Chicago, there's a lot of like house residential areas, like extensive neighborhoods of just houses, no apartments, no buildings, no nothing. And then you have little plazas in between all these like crazy streets that are going around, right? Here in Valencia, you don't got that much of that, and if you do, it's not that expansive, and the plazas are not the same kind of shit, and a lot more like cement, a lot more like maybe like synthetic grass or whatever, like all that shit, right? And which is cool too, but it's a whole different vibe. But I guess like I also like have not had the chance to have a friend that we meet up biking all the time, and like to do those kinds of activities,
I mean, I feel like the main thing is like, you're gonna have to do like you're gonna end up doing similar activities, but like they're gonna be slightly different. Like they're gonna be exactly the same.
And then you're gonna miss that, but it's
yeah, man. And they just kind of like you're gonna start missing like those similar activities. You know, you just kind of like get adapted to them as they go. You know, over time. Yeah. And it's kind of crazy, man, because like human beings, as in general, like we are just like creatures of habit. Like it's super easy for us to create like habit within ourselves.
You know? Yeah, and once we get over habits, it's pretty easy for our brains to completely let go.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, you have that period where like it feels like your whole world's been shifted when you can't do that habit. But then as soon as you like forget about it and a new habit forms on top of it, it's like that whole attachment that gets recreated again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's crazy to see how like our brain works like that, man.
Yeah. It's cool though. It's cool, and like once you've been through that kind of like emotional shift, it really like becomes easier the next times.
I feel like it puts things in perspective, man. Yeah. You know, it makes it so that like not everything has to be so permanent. You know?
There's a lot of acceptance on that.
Right.
In like kind of like in things that you don't have control over, you know, external to you. But like I like that though. But in one sense though, it has made me a little bit maybe more like putting up some sort of resistance to attachment, or in the sense of like I might be able to like create some sort of attachment with people. But I'm always kind of like ready to let go just in case.
Right. So you end up kind of keeping people at like arm's length as well.
Right. And I might act like not even, but inside of me, like if all goes to shit, like it's a lot easier today for me to be like, well, you know, like.
Right. Yeah.
It is what it is, you know.
Right. Just kind of like cut people out of your life. For
like
sure.
It's harder for me to go like, oh my god, no, like oh my god, you know, like I usually even will just joke about it and stuff, you know. Yeah. Obviously, like not with everything, you know. Like, if there's deep connection with anything, like obviously it's hard.
Yeah, no, for sure.
For anyone,
yeah, but
I'm not a psychopath. You know, like. But
I swear I have emotions, people.
Right.
Shit, I get it, but it's just a lot easier to just not actually get to know, not be interested in getting to know somebody that much, you know?
Yeah.
Because you just figure like, oh, I'm just gonna be moving on pretty soon, anyways. Like I'm not here for long. What's the point?
Yeah, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know, like that's crazy though. That is kind of one thing that's to me it's a downside about like this lifestyle of moving around.
Yeah,
because I would like to be able to like create that kind of connection with something or someone or some activity or some place. But I don't really, you know. I always have this like even here in Spain. Like, I know I'm not going to live in Spain forever. But that's not what I want. And it's like, I want to do things, but, like, I don't want to fully compromise and attach myself to Spain, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Plus, like, it takes time to kind of develop, like, a deep, like, emotional attachment. You know, you can't really, like, force it into happening like, within a year or so.
But there's some sort of, like, already some conscious avoidance to it.
When you know you're not gonna be, you're only like passing through. Yeah. Also. Yeah.
Like that's why, like for example, in Chile, the first 4 years I was there, I was single. I like met some girls that I liked, but I never really like went on like the sense of like full on relationship until we all know who.
No, for sure. Yeah, because when you think like that, it does like shape a lot of the decisions that you make in your like your life, man.
Right. Because like according to what I knew when I moved to Chile, I was gonna be there 1-2 years tops.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like once 2 years happened, I was like, okay, next year. Okay, next year. Okay, next year. You know, and it's like
Right.
I was always, it's like I can't compromise with a job for too long. I can't compromise with a career, college career that's too long.
Right. Yeah.
I can't compromise with a relationship. I can't have kids. I can't marry here. You know, like I can't do any of those things. You know, so like until I'm where I have to end up at. You know, like wherever it is. You know, like I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, for sure, man. I feel like that's why like having a natural plan and a direction to go is it's like one of the most important things in life, man. So you're not just left in like limbo, kind of like waiting.
Right. But even if like for example, like my plan is to end up in Chicago to do my things there, and that's where I would settle. You know, I have no problem settling in that city.
Yeah.
Is it closest to the place that I could like say that I have some attachment to. And I realized that it was to Chicago and not to the people.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like there is attachment to the people too, you know, but it wasn't just for that because all of a sudden I started losing friends from Chicago. All of a sudden, the few friends I still had left moved out of Chicago.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, my family moved out of Chicago, and there was nothing left for me in Chicago. But for some reason, I was like, I need to. I wanna go there. Now, like, I changed the word "need to" because I said before that I never felt that, and it's true because like if I don't never end up in Chicago, like let's say I find something much better here in Europe. Than what I could ever expect in Chicago. It's like fuck, you know, fuck Chicago.
Yeah.
Or wherever else in the world. But but like that's kind of like the city I would feel more comfortable in. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess I understand. Like it's kind of like you're drawn to a certain way of life, and like that can provide you that way of life.
Yeah, like I fit in culturally. I fit in like perspective and stuff because. I spent my teen years there, so obviously that's kind of like when you develop a lot of your personal character, you know?
Yeah.
And the influences around at that age, like, it's what's going to shape you mostly, you know?
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
A lot of the values, a lot of the perspective, lifestyle, you know? Food. Food taste. Fuck food, man. Fuck Spain.
No, don't
fuck Spain with
food, bro.
Dude, food can fuck me in the mouth, bro.
That's one way of putting it.
No, but like,
with that in mind, bro, I feel like it's the perfect timing to switch on to our segment.
Yo, man, I was gonna say the same thing. Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Welcome to with
Indicouch
tips.
I mean, technically, I called it Indicouch tips, man.
Indicouch tips. Indie tips.
That's the working title.
Indicouch tips. Okay, yeah, I like that.
I mean, couch tips.
Couch tips.
I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, anyways, working title, man. We'll figure that out.
Yeah. You know, the famous section from Indicouch podcast.
Hell yeah.
We got some pretty interesting tips that came out. Actually, shout out to my homie Pedro. He's been on the chat a few times during the streams. He's not gonna understand this, but whatever.
Still respect you for helping us out, man.
Yeah, saludo, Pedro.
If anybody else got any tips that you want to let us know, bro, just drop them down in the comments below. I want to hear it.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
And we'll give you a shout out if we share them on this section.
Hell yeah, man. Also write them in the chat.
Yeah, man. Well, so the first tip we got, it's like we're gonna talk about like extending papers, putting papers together. There's many ways. A lot of people like to do it differently. I think the most popular one would be the L.
I guess. Yeah, I think so.
Either that or just like one on top of one next to the other.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, to me personally, whenever I think about extending papers, I prefer to put one on top of the other and just roll like a fat joint rather than like kind of rolling an L. Man, I feel like the L is always like uncomfortable to roll.
Right.
That's just a personal thing, man.
Right. It's just like I'm a huge cone guy.
For sure. Okay, yeah, I get it.
I love smoking coney joints.
I feel you.
And or blunts too. Like the cone is the way to go for me. And even when I started smoking tobacco, like rolling tobacco, I wouldn't use filters. I would just smoke paper. And the thing is, I would roll a cone that the mouth part was like so tight that it was like enough of a hole for it to go through, but no solids would go through.
Alright, dude. Okay, dude.
Yeah, man, it was nice.
That's pretty cool. I mean, me personally, dude, I just like smoking joints, bro. The cone shapes or not, bro. Like I just like joints, man. So
it's just like when I smoke a really fat one,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
it like burns your fucking throat, like it fucks you up,
dude. It's such a boss fucking feeling holding a cigar size fucking joint and just being like, yo, this is mine.
You can roll a big ass fucking cone too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, man.
I roll big fucking cones,
yeah, no, you can, you definitely can.
Yeah. One time I rolled. Like, I grabbed 4 papers, like 2 here and 2 here, right? Like a whole sheet.
Man, that's dude, that's the way to go, man.
And I roll it. Like the filter was like this thing, you know, like.
I mean, at that point, you had to like put like multiple filters in, no, or you just use the one paper. Right?
No, what I did is like I grabbed like the whole lid, the whole one side of the paper case,
okay,
whatever, you know, the whole lid of it, and just completely folded it in. Like you don't need that much rounding. As long as like the folding is the right size, the filter will adapt to that size.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about like keeping the weed from like flying into your mouth.
Right.
That's the main purpose of the filter.
Yeah, but like if it's tight enough, like if you got enough fucking zigzags or whatever you want to put inside, it'll be good.
Interesting.
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, extending papers. One thing, like if you're gonna put papers like this, you're gonna be sticking it through the top, right? So in that sense, you're gonna have like this loose end on here, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this makes sense in video.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. So like when that happens, you got a few options. First of all, don't like let it overlap, you know, a lot. Also, make sure that the one that's outside is the one that goes in the filter side. That way, like when you start rolling from the filter, it grabs the other paper.
Okay, yeah.
True. And the other thing is also like you can always just cut off like the glue side of another paper and put like some sort of belt around it, and that will help it stick a lot better. And you won't have to worry about it letting go and stuff.
Dude, that is one thing that I will say that, like whenever I'm rolling like L's, man, because like I definitely like notice a difference in like the harshness of the smoke when like the paper overlaps. You know, like when there's like double amount of paper, you feel it in the smoke, man.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Like one of the things that I personally do to like avoid this in like the L, specifically in like the L papers, right, is you like kind of rip down the edge like across diagonally like this, starting from like the glue side all the way to the opposite end, and like that way you can still get that cone shape, but it like just takes off that like a bunch of paper that would just kind of be like wrapping around needlessly, you know.
All right. I mean, like since it's a nail, I would just kind of like cut the extra here.
Yeah, it also works, man. I mean, just kind of like cut it diagonally, and then you got the glue.
The glue,
the glue just keeps on like wrapping around.
But like eventually, you do kind of like 2 loops, so you could cut it on like 1 1/4 instead of
also
2.
True.
You know, 2 whole loops. Yeah, no, that's good, man. The next is the multi-stage joints. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, bro. Fireworks for the multi-stage joint. Like epic fireworks.
Yeah, I wish they could see it. I wish we could see it.
So yeah, man, explain what that is, bro.
Well, multi-stage joints. My friend Pedro told me about it too. Well, when I told Vinny, he already had done it.
Hell yeah, man.
But basically, imagine you got a fucking J right here, and like, the first half is like, I don't know, it could be like tobacco and hash, and then the second half is weed and keef, and like or weed and like wax or something.
Yeah.
But you could do like multi-phase joints. I've never tried it. I really want to do it. I want to just a stonery thing, really.
Yeah.
At the end, the result is the same. You're gonna be stoned as fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like a cool thing to do to just like when you buy that like one like extra special thing and you kind of want to like really experience the difference between that and the regular stuff that you're smoking,
Or maybe
so you have like a direct comparison.
Right, and maybe it doesn't have to be too different. Maybe you just have two different types of weed.
Yeah.
You can do first fucking purple haze, second you do train wreck, third you do fucking white widow or something.
Yeah, man, it's particularly fun.
I do recommend though, if you do hash on one of those parts or oil or extract, like put them on the top. That way at the end you get like a fucking meltdown of all that shit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's smoke all over that.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, put the extracts at the top, man.
Yeah.
Also, another thing, like personally, I would not use like the regular like papers to roll these. I would much rather get those like self rolling kind of papers, like the rolls.
Oh, the pre-rolled joints.
No, like those like papers that come with like it's just like a roll of papers, and you kind of like choose the size of the joint.
Oh,
and just cut it.
Right.
I always forget what the fuck you call them, bro.
I don't know, but like I know exactly what you mean, man.
They come in like little tubes, and you essentially choose the size of your joint.
It's like a film. It's like a film canister, like
I mean, it's kind of essentially like the same principle as a toilet paper roll. Like that's what it is, but like for like rolling paper. So yeah, you just get that, and then because like that way you can actually like choose how big you want each section to be. Man, it's cool.
And you don't got paper overlaps and shit.
Yeah, exactly, man. You don't have to worry about cutting up the paper.
Yeah, man. What you got?
Oh yeah,
the next one.
So now let's talk about like bong breathing techniques, man. Because like there's a couple ways to kind of like make sure that you hit the bong like better, I guess. Let's just say that, man. Or you can just at least make sure you like kill that whole bowl, man.
You want to demonstrate?
Yeah, absolutely, man. let's do like a demonstration over here. There's only like a little bit of butt left, but I'm still gonna like kind of show the principles of it, man.
Yeah, man.
Shit, but like. Anyways, the whole idea is that like most people think that like you gotta just like empty out like all your lungs just completely before you're taking a huge bong rip or before like going underwater for example, and that's actually been proven like to be not the case. I mean, that's not like the most efficient way to kind of like build up like your resistance to air. Like the best way to do it is to kind of like take in just like a bunch of like shallow breaths, like deep forward, like back and forth, kind of like. And then just kind of like one final one to kind of like empty it out, and then that way like you get like the most kind of in, or you
so you like hyperventilate a little bit.
No, that kind of hyperventilate.
I mean, that kind of breathing is called hyperventilating. You can do it purposely or by accident, but
yeah, man. But it just kind of like for some reason it just kind of helps. It just helps your body to kind of like hold in the oxygen a little bit better, man. It also works for swimming, man. That's actually true. that's kind of why I started applying to the bong technique, man.
Yeah, man.
And it kind of works.
Yeah, in swimming I used to do that exercise.
Hell yeah, man.
Like I would sink it, like. Oh shit!
Yeah, no, it's all good. No, it was just the ashes.
Shit. But I would
exactly, man. That kind of helps you, and then the other thing that like I kind of do personally, and it does help me to kind of keep going, is that sometimes whenever like I feel like my lungs are like filling up and like I can't like inhale anymore, I stop inhaling with like my mouth, and I'll inhale a little bit through my nose, and then that would just kind of like expand my lungs, and so like for some reason it just kind of like it kind of almost lets you like inhale more with your mouth after that.
Oh shit!
I don't know, man. It's kind of weird, but it works, man. It's just like it's a fact, and it just kind of works. It's been working for pretty much like every single bong hit that I've ever done, man.
Nice.
It almost like unlocks like a second wind chamber, man. Hell yeah, man. So I mean, this It's a small little bowl, but fucking man, let's hit it. Cheers.
Hell yeah, bro. My question is, should I roll a joint? That's what I thought.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, it's sticky icky.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, it was like freshly clean, just like when we started, man.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy how fast, like, how quickly like resin just builds up.
Yeah, man. Here, push it. Don't push it down. Just like flatten it with the lighter. That's kind of what I do. It works perfectly.
Yeah, I ain't kind of work. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, what's the next?
The next tip.
Weed keeping.
Weed keeping.
Hell yeah,
nice,
man.
nice.
Y'all ever heard about beekeeping? We're talking beekeeping, guys.
So we're gonna talk about some things that are. Yeah, man. Cheers. We're gonna talk about some things that are important because I've seen a lot of people that don't know this. First of all, weed is a plant. It's organic. It's natural. So it's not forever. It dies. It decomposes, and there's ways to make it last better and keep it fresh. Yeah, go for it, man.
While you're talking, I just
and like I think that it's important that we like sometimes we spend money on good weed, you know, and like we want to make it last, but like all of a sudden it tastes like shit or it's not hitting as good and stuff. And it's because you got to keep it well. So first of all, the most basic way to do it is typical baggy, you know. It keeps it sealed. It's not the best, but like for small amounts, like I guess it works, you know. If you're gonna keep it in a baggie, always keep it in a dark place, unless you have a baggie that's completely blocked off the, like it's not transparent.
Yeah.
So, you want me to roll?
Either you or I can roll, man. I don't mind.
I'll roll.
Yeah, for sure.
So in that sense, we gotta talk about that. So the baggie is one way, it's super basic, but like one thing I use here, which is pretty common too. You can get these on any grocery stores or literally any pill bottle, any plastic dark container that seals up when you close it. It works. And like I keep it in this, you know, it's dark, it seals it up. It doesn't let the smell out too, you know. And you keep it in a drawer and stuff in your closet. It won't like stink your clothes up and anything. And in that sense, you like it's dark and it's sealed, and it keeps it fresh. It keeps it not too dry, not too moist, you know, and that way like the plant lasts longer. Then if you need bigger space, like obviously glass jars are the shit. Glass jars are, if you got glass jars that got like the green tint to it, so UV light doesn't get through it, better. If you don't, try to keep it in your closet, in a drawer, or something, so it's dark. It's always good to keep it in dark. Then like
dark and cool, man.
Yeah, man.
Also, like, yeah.
Also, like for example, like it's good to keep it sealed, otherwise it dries out too much, just like tobacco. And then like it's not even pleasant to smoke it because it's too harsh, you know. It's like too spicy. It burns really fast, and when it burns really fast and it's too dried up, the THC might burn too high on a temperature and it might not even do its full effect.
Yeah,
or you might not get a clean high, you know, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, it's important to keep it right. And like the other really, really important thing is don't grind it if you're not gonna smoke it right now. You know?
Yeah.
If you're not gonna smoke it right now, don't grind it. If you don't have a grinder and you're like, oh, can I grind it for later? Because I'm not gonna have one. Don't, dude. There's so many ways to grind it that you can do it if you don't have any grinder. First of all, like any cheese grater or whatever is gonna work. You know.
True.
Second,
True.
you can.
A lot of those like card grinders that people sell you are just essentially like decorated cheese graters.
Yeah, man. Second of all, like really, if you got really good dried up nugs, you can go for you can rub a nug against another nug. That's a really good, effective way to grind shit up.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's how they break diamonds, and that's how you should treat your weed.
Exactly.
That's how precious your weed is, man.
Exactly. Shine bright like a motherfucking diamond. And in that sense, that helps. And also, like, I used to have a friend that in his bedroom, he did this on purpose because grinders he had. Mm-hmm. He had a whole fucking, like, wooden chopping board in his room. And, like, a whole, like, expensive ass Japanese, like, sushi knife type of shit.
Nice.
And he used it uniquely to chop the nugs. Yeah, and he just, like, that's how he did it. Every time.
Holy shit, dude, that's fire. Man, that's cool, man.
With some fucking style.
No, that's class, bro. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's classy smoking right there.
Exactly. He did that, and like, also you can do like a pill, the same fucking thing, or a pill bottle that you use, you know, whatever plastic. You put a coin in there, shake the shit out of it, and you're gonna be good.
Yeah. Yeah, but personally, like my favorite way of keeping my weed is with like a smell proof, like either Mason or one of those what do you call them, like the freaking like those jars with the lid that you flip
with the vacuum seal.
Yeah, man, the vacuum seal kind of lid, man. Like those are my favorite ones to like keep like storing my weed, man.
Yeah, man.
I feel like because that also just it keeps the humidity sealed in there, and that's kind of ideally also what you want. You know?
Yeah, you don't want okay, so like the weed is not supposed to be 100% dry. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be curated.
Yeah.
So like basically like you dry it up a little bit, but after that like it's not 100% dry because otherwise, as we said, it burns too fast and too hot. Mm-hmm. It creates too much smoke and hurts your throat and everything. It's actually super unhealthy. And then also like if it's too humid. First of all, dealers are gonna fuck you over because it's gonna weigh more. Second of all, it's not gonna burn good. Your joint's gonna be going out every 10 seconds, and like it's you're gonna waste a lot.
Yeah, you're gonna notice it like when you try to grind like humid weed, it's like it doesn't grind. It just kind of like unfolds, you know.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it even does like little balls inside the grinder.
Yeah.
It's almost like fucking like dough.
Yeah, man. Yeah, real.
Yeah, man. So it's important to keep your weed like that. Grinding methods, there's a lot. The first 3-4 years I smoked weed a lot. I always use my fingers to break the nugs up and roll them up on joints. Or if you're smoking a bong or a glass pipe, you don't even need to grind it that much.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like as much as I may have like just shat on like hard grinders being like glorified cheese graters, I have one that I carry with me at all times, and since then it has not only saved my life multiple times, it has also freaking introduced me to a bunch of people that have become very good friends, man. Of mine, let's just put it that way. it's worked out very good, man. So like as a conversation starter, man. So
I bet that's so funny, man. Dude, yeah, man.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah.
So yeah, keeping your
it's just efficiency.
Yeah. And then the last thing we want to talk about is you can see me right now. I'm struggling a little bit because I'm putting a lot of weed on this fucking joint. But we're gonna talk about joint tightness or blunt or whatever paper you're using, but like basically whatever. There's like the smaller it is, the tighter it's gonna be. I think.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Yes. If it's really small and it's too loose, it's gonna burn in 2 seconds. You're not gonna get anything out of it, and it's gonna burn like a match on its own. If you're smoking a joint that's this long, if it's too tight, you're not gonna be able to smoke it. It's gonna create a vacuum inside. It's gonna implode it, and it's gonna fucking like ruin the whole joint.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. But the thing about it, like, is
and then the
like,
rest blocks it 100%.
that's true, man. But like, for example, when you get like a bowl, like for the bong, if you don't pack it tight enough, it doesn't burn right. Like that's the main thing.
Yeah, no.
That's also like my big argument against like not grinding the weed when you put it in the bowl. You know, like
Yeah.
like it needs to be like packed in that like really tight so that it burns right and like
Right.
it burns evenly throughout the whole thing.
Right, but like but that's the whole thing. Like, cause like if we were talking about sticking papers together and extending. If you're gonna roll a bigger joint, you gotta not make it as tight, but it can't be too loose. There's a very very small space of like being right with that, because if it's too loose, it'll fall, and like and like all the paper is gonna shrug in.
I mean,
and if it's too tight, it's gonna get blocked. It's gonna take for like if because like air might not go through it. It's happened to me before. And then like if you get air to go through it and it's too tight and it costs a lot of work to do it. After 5 hits, the rest is gonna start blocking everything anyway.
Yeah, it gets clogged like really quick. Yeah. But like for example, like I feel like every joint should definitely be like breathable. You know, it should do that like expand and like contract a little bit. Yeah,
I don't know,
like,
man.
That's like
my joints
like
never
how
do that,
you
man.
ensure, dude. That's like how you ensure like good airflow, man.
I mean, like I don't know, man. I don't think so, man. Because like I feel like when it's like that, it's too much paper for the amount of weed inside, man. If it's there's like this joint is fucking tight, bro. I feel like Wiz Khalifa in his music video from Reefer Party. They be saying you can't feed enough weed in a joint.
I mean,
no, but like
I mean, you haven't closed it yet, dude. But like, I feel like it's when you like close it. Like I said, like the ideal way to make it like hit nicely, man. I don't know. It just needs to like go like breathe a little bit.
But look, this doesn't.
Yeah, man. All right, shit, dude. You did not lie, dude. You did fucking pack that.
Yeah, it won't shrug. But like, what I like about that is that like, okay, like, it's a slow burn. It doses out the weed. You're not like, because like if it's a little bit looser than this, dude, it's gonna like burn the third of a joint in 2 hits. You know?
I mean, no, dude. I feel like that's an exaggeration, dude. Like a little bit looser is not gonna burn it that fast.
Bruh.
Nah,
I know my shit.
No, dude. A little bit looser is gonna burn a third of it, like in a puff.
Dude, you give any room for this to breathe, and like this first part of the joint, 2 hits,
dude.
2 hits.
Man. Maybe if you just like fucking chugging on it, dude.
No, man, dude. Look how it's gonna burn the first hit, even though it's tight.
I understand that it's gonna burn slowly, and I agree with you, man.
But even though it's tight,
I feel like you're definitely exaggerating on like the amount, dude.
Shit,
dude. Man, dude, that's the thing, dude. But you were just talking about like joints being packed too tight, and like, dude, you're telling me that like stuffing it down to the point where a joint can't breathe is not too tight.
No, but one thing is, okay, like, because like this is what you don't want, because it is tight. It is tight in the sense of like these jeans fitting on my legs, right?
Okay, I don't know.
But like it's not as tight as like. But like if you were to grab, for example, maybe some duct tape and started like putting it around my leg too tight,
right?
Then you're gonna cut my circulation,
right?
Okay,
right.
You want skinny jeans as a paper. You don't want duct tape cutting circulation off paper.
Man, you see, here's the thing, bro. Because like when you compare it to your jeans,
it's a lot looser.
I would definitely say like Your jeans are like it's in a breathable position.
Okay, no, like let's talk about
look at
skinny.
this, man,
Like
that's what I'm talking
let's talk about really
like,
skinny
the whole
jeans.
point that like it can like come off your
No,
skin.
but like let's talk about really skinny jeans.
Mhm.
Like the really skinny jeans, or maybe like these like leather pants that are super tight, or latex or whatever. Think about that. That's not cutting your circulation off, but it's tight.
Mhm.
You know, it's not gonna move. It's gonna stay there. It's solid. You know, it's not gonna change shapes. It's not gonna open up. There's not gonna be air pockets in there that you're gonna breathe in, and it's just gonna be fucking 40% paper.
Mhm.
You know, like it's gonna be a constant of weed ratio with paper.
Mhm.
You know, and it's a lot less likely for it to burn sideways.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, the canoeing. Yeah.
If you got like a constant tightness of it.
Yeah.
But the importance is that inside the weed, it's not too pressed, so there's still like airways. You know? But the paper has gotta hold the fucking weed. No.
Yeah, man. Okay,
if you make it bigger, it doesn't have to be as tight. Why? Because the bigger it is, the more weed it is.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you can like one little air pocket is not gonna make that big of a difference.
Okay, yes, okay. So thank you, man. So that's the thing I was getting kind of like wondering, man, because like you definitely can't pack like when you're putting two papers like end to end like that.
Right.
You can't pack it like this tight,
No.
man, because it's just gonna get clogged like halfway
Right.
down.
You saw it on the joint we smoked when we watched Lord of the Rings, the first one. I rolled a big ass fucking joint, right? Remember?
Very little, but yeah, I know I was.
That's
there
why he
for
doesn't
that.
remember.
Yeah, bro, I know I was there for that.
But yeah, man, in that sense, like that joint wasn't as tight. In fact, at the beginning, we kind of like had to hold it two-handed.
Dude, what the fuck did that happen? Dude,
the first
what
one.
the hell, dude?
The first one, because we watched it alone, right?
We watched it, yeah, because he didn't want to join us.
No one else was there.
Yeah.
The second one, we watched
What
it
the
with
fuck, dude?
But the first one,
Did you use two papers for that?
I did, and I put the belt and everything.
That wasn't the night of the cross joint.
I think it was, maybe.
I know we smoked the cross.
That was when I
joint,
bought
dude.
the 100 G's, bro.
Okay, I know dude. I know we smoked the cross joint, dude, but I don't know when.
No, I don't know if it was the same night as the cross joint. I don't remember. It might have been, but like this was like literally we sat down, you press play, and we lit up that joint, and it lasted us the first like 30 minutes of the movie. And then we were high for the rest of the fucking movie.
Oh shit! Okay. I definitely remember being super baked for that movie.
And it lasted us 30 minutes, not because we put it out, but it was fucking huge, man. Maybe it was less than 30 minutes, but it felt like fucking 30 minutes.
I get you, man. I get you. But, it can't have been the same night as the cross joint because we watched the Pineapple Express when we rolled the cross joint. Remember? Okay, That's why he decided to roll the cross joint.
Dude, you know what I want to do? I want to send that video in the DMs to Seth Rogen and be like, "I love you, man. Like, thanks for the cross joint.
Thanks for the cross. Hell yeah.
And
thanks for the ideas.
See if he replies."
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, "Oh."
No way, man.
Bro.
Shit.
Send me some shirts, man.
Holy shit, dude. Who was that?
Fucking Seth Rogen.
I don't know about the voice, dude. The laugh, yes, dude. The voice of somebody else, man.
When he's like agitated, he's like,
yeah, that part, yeah, for sure. Alright, so that's the end of the segment, man. Thank you for tuning into our segment.
That was the longest fucking segment. Like, fucking
dude.
30-minute weed segment,
For sure. Yo, shit. So, now we're moving on to, next topic.
Next topic, okay.
Honestly, like let's talk about like different tips against like procrastination, man. Like
Yeah,
some
man.
a couple of the things that you found, bro.
Okay,
Like
so
yeah.
for me, okay, like creating habits of things that I don't like doing.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like making my bed or cleaning, which
Mm-hmm.
clearly is not happening right now. But like that's helped me when I do. Like people talk about that shit all the time, and it's like a super hurt thing. But like little things like that, like really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like I wipe this table every day. You know, I like uh, fucking broom my room like two two times a day. You know,
Yeah.
while I sleep. And like it's stuff like being constant with it, and that will program your brain to be like allowed and like allow itself to just do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it will be a lot easier for your brain to accept it because it's already done it a bunch of times with a bunch of other things. If you're constant with that and like you're kind of like strict with yourself and does in that thing, maybe try to like fix your sleeping schedule and stuff. Like if you start like ordering stuff, then it's a lot easier to like be able to like think I have to do this and just do it
Mm-hmm.
instead of like okay I'll do it later, okay I'll do it after I finish it, okay I'll do it like like
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Like, I definitely agree with you. And like two things with that, man. Like the main, like, us human beings, like I mentioned before, we are like very like habit, like creating creatures. And like, although some habits are easier to create than others, we can still like program our, we can still like program our brains to create a habit simply by doing like a small amount or like a small task like every day for like a long period of time, you know,
yeah
because then your brain just starts to miss it, like you said, dude. Honestly, like there's like a rule that kind of, it's like the 2 minute rule, where like if you wanna like create a habit, just do something for like at least 2 minutes every day for like 30 days, and then eventually like you just kind of like start working your way up, and like so every time you just kind of like do like a little bit more, and eventually you see that like you start like always like arranging your days to like a period of time where like you can actually like work on this, you know. So
right
you always like when you start your day, you already have like a predestined like amount of time that
right
you
bro.
know you're gonna put onto this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Dude,
and it really works, people. It really does work.
dude, that is what.
Try it. It takes 28 days to create a habit.
Yeah,
25 to 28 days.
mm, that's true.
Try it.
Man, have you ever heard of the like eat the frog rule when it comes to like doing something or like
No?
being proactive? It essentially is like when you wake up, you should like do the thing that like you're dreading the most, or the thing that, like the biggest thing that's on your mind. You should do that thing like first. So like the worst thing possible that you can like most not want to do, but you have to, you should just do that thing like first in the day.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
thing.
like yeah, dude. Like, what do you think? Man? What do you think about that?
Uh, I don't know, man. I think okay, like obviously there's some tendency as to like people are super active when they wake up in the morning and stuff. So like that's like the best moment to learn, the best moment to do work, the best moment to work out, the best moment to whatever, and you get your best meal and shit like that. That's fine, and I guess like it's 90% of the reality. I think I don't know, man. I don't know the numbers, but like in that sense, I think personally that like for me that morning or waking up stuff, like the first 3 hours of me waking up, I'm not the best, far from the best.
I,
Even in periods where I'm like sleeping well during the night and like in a right schedule for months,
mm-hmm,
for work and stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
and not stressed out or anything, like good times. And man, like the first 3 hours, I'm so dysfunctional, man. Like obviously, I do everything I need to, and like I know myself, so like I know like I know what my limits are, so I'm not gonna go beyond that. But like, uh, but like after 3 hours, that's when I'm like, all right, you know,
Shit. Alright. Okay.
yeah, I have to like, I have to like shower, I have to clean my room, I have to eat. And after I do those three things, and eating is the last thing I do because I cannot eat before that. I have to like function and do something, and then my body's like, all right, let's eat, you know. But if I just wake up, like I know people that wake up, eat, and then do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I can't do. Okay.
Dude, no, I get you, man. Like, I can't. I also like cannot eat like first thing in the morning. But like, I am
I used
active.
to when I
I
was
am
little.
like, I am very like active, man. Like, it's like I'd say honestly, like that's when I'm most active, man. So the whole thing about like eating the frog, like doing the first thing, doing the thing I'm draining the most in the day, like first, actually like really works for me personally.
All right.
Oh yeah, man. But like one thing that like I don't know if I haven't like personally tried myself, and I don't know like not 100% sure if it like how I feel about it, but I heard a lot of people that really swear by this is the idea that like when you like clean up like your whole workspace and your work area, man, it also like
I was
helps
gonna
you like,
mention
just,
that.
like clean up your mind, man.
Yeah. Have a clean workspace
Mm.
and not on bed. Could be in your bedroom if you don't have any other space, but not
Yeah,
on bed. Do not work on bed.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Ideally, it should be a different room, but sometimes you have to make
Yeah.
it, man, for sure.
If you don't have any other room, and you have to do it in your bedroom, that's fine, but do not do it on your bed. Even if you have to sit on the floor with your laptop on your legs,
Hmm.
do that. Put a fucking pillow on the floor, and it will really like make a whole difference. Because your brain does design tasks to spaces,
Hmm.
and if you work and sleep in the same place, your brain then you will have trouble sleeping and working.
Yeah, yeah. You have like a hard time assigning what time is time for what, man.
Yeah,
That also doesn't help with procrastinating, man, for
yeah.
sure.
And also like working, if you want to like uh do really good, you're really motivated about what you're doing. Uh, one way of like stepping a little bit over like to out of the comfort zone
Mm.
is don't make your workspace too comfortable. Like, you know, have a working chair. Don't sit on a couch. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
don't make your workspace too decorated. It's gonna distract you.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny that we say that as we sit on the couch and smoke weed. You
Yeah.
know, like making it legit our official
But
workspace.
the rest of the
But it's
work that
different.
we do on this, we don't do it sitting on
Right.
the couch.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Absolutely. No. It's different. Like this is just like it's the setting. You know, like the
Yeah.
setting for the show.
And like, yeah, man. Like, and like, for example, like, I do that exercise, man. Like, I don't sit on my bed unless I'm gonna sleep. You know, I don't go on my bed at all during the day. I'm either sitting on this couch or I'm on my desk. You know,
Mm.
but I'm never.
Man. Dude, that's a good. That's actually a really good rule to abide by, man. To be honest, because yeah, I do find it true. Like every time, for example, like when I got like company over, and like I have to sit on my bed because there's just like a lot of people around.
Right.
Like I just end up kind of like feeling like kind of sleepy, man. It's kind of like
Yeah,
annoying.
man.
Shit, dude. Or just like during the day when I take a break and I have nothing to do for a while, or I just kind of want to stop for a while. And I sit man on the bed, I always end up starting to feel like sleepy, man. Like that does like induce kind of like sleepy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, yeah, I started doing that a few years ago because like I really struggle with sleeping. You know, so like if I only use the bed for sleeping, I'll fall asleep. And now I sleep, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually fucking sleep, man. I sleep every night, like about like at least 6.5 hours, you know, at least. But most of the time it's like 7.5 hours, you know,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, man. It's
which is
important.
nice. Yeah.
Actually, it's important like also to like to be productive during the day. It's important to like get enough rest, man, as well. Dude.
Mhm.
When your brain is like rested, that's when you can actually like function and be reversed.
What do you think about nocturnal people, night owls?
I mean, so here's the thing. It is it is proven that like you need to like rest for longer during the day to get like done like as rested as when you do at night.
Ooh,
Simply
interesting.
because
Okay,
of like
I didn't
simply
know that.
because of because like the way that like your body kind of like your body clock works. Like there is a your different your there's like a different kind of sleep. Provided, I mean, provided you're not, I guess, in like complete darkness, I guess, and like there's like somewhat of like light coming through and stuff.
Oh, so like if you're in
Uh,
complete darkness and quietness, you're good.
I think yeah, it's different, man. I think like when your body can literally sense like no sense of time, then it's different, man. But like when you're sleeping, for example, like if you like nap during the day, if you just like sleep during the day like this, right, with the windows open, and then you just
Yeah, hold on.
for sure.
But keep saying though.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
For sure. So you sleep like this with the windows open, man, and then you try to stay awake like at night. Like the amount of sleep that you need to sleep like during the day it would be a lot more than you need to sleep like during the night.
Yeah.
Because like of the like the I guess like the depth of sleep that your body can go into.
That is true because when I sleep at night, dude, like this is the thing. I try to go to sleep early, uh, in order to start waking up early. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of conflicting thoughts and feelings about this.
Yeah, I mean the thing.
Because like I keep trying. Let's go. Like I try to go to bed at 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's go to bed at 10. I wake up at 1:30 a.m. too and can't fall fucking back asleep. And I take all the fucking like actions that you're supposed to, like no electronics, you know, no stimulants and stuff, like nothing, you know, like just laying there, not moving, breathing techniques and everything, meditate.
Try to jerk off. Jerk off, man.
Obviously, man, like,
I was gonna say, bro, you're missing something important in that list, bro.
No, obviously. I think as a man, that's implied.
For sure, bro.
Single man living alone, I guess. Like, sleeping alone.
For sure. No, for sure.
No, but like,
shit, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, but then, like, do you stay awake the whole night, or do you manage to go back to sleep?
no, I like lay in there until like 5, and then I just get up.
Yeah.
I rest, you know?
Yeah.
Might not be asleep, but I still keep my eyes closed, and I just like stay there. Maybe at 5 a.m. I'll grab my phone or something.
Yeah, because that's tough, man. Because like that's what I was gonna say. Like for like as much as you might like maybe like you can stay the night awake, provided like you get enough hours of sleep and enough rest, then that you can like make up for it. But the thing is, you actually need to get enough rest. Like that's the crucial part.
Yeah, man. And this is the other thing, man. Is that like at 6 p.m. the next day I'm dead. And since it's 6 p.m., I'll take a 30-minute nap, and now I can't fall back asleep until like 3 a.m.
Oh damn, man. Okay, yeah.
that's
Damn,
my issue, man.
Dude, yeah, man. You just kind of like really messed up, like your biological clock rates kind of got it like completely like out of whack, I guess.
It fucked up. I didn't say it. Ice Cube did.
Cool.
No, but I also say it. No, I don't want to hate anyone.
Whenever it comes to like training or like exercising, like doing sports, for example, or even like creative work, man, I always do take like getting like my like rest time like period like seriously, you know.
Yeah, man, that's really
that's something that I always try to think about, man.
If you're gonna be using your brain or your body or your body a lot, like you need rest.
Yeah.
If you're studying for final exams, bro, sleep well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a big part of it, man. I never understood the people that just like cram the entire night, like the day before the exam, dude. Like that doesn't make any sense to me, dude. You're
But
just gonna be completely like.
but you gotta sleep
tired
well
by
for
the
like
end of
the last 2 to 3 weeks. That's the thing. Like you gotta try to sleep the best you can and rest, and like in like
yeah, man.
2 weeks, with that, and dude, and then like the best night of sleep, like get like 9 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, you don't even need that much, man. You need like as a teenager, you definitely need more, but like as like adults, if we get like
Depending on your age of adult.
yeah, for sure. But for the most part, like 5 to 6 hours is
No.
enough, man, for you to function.
It's enough a couple of times, but if you sleep 5 to 6 hours every night, you're fucked. As at our age, we're supposed to be sleeping 7 hours. That's what we're supposed to be sleeping. Then past 40, 5 to 6, and then when you're past 65 or 70, you sleep 4 hours.
For sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
My grandpa, he falls asleep like 11:30, midnight, and then he wakes up at like 4:30.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Goes to the bathroom and goes back to bed and just stays on his iPad, watches the news.
I see. Yeah, I see the same with my grandparents, man.
Yeah. My grandma falls asleep like at 2 a.m. every day with fucking sleeping pills. But she takes them at like 10 p.m. and then she's like high as fuck for 4 hours.
No way.
Watching TV and then she falls asleep.
Damn, bro. So she's just kind of like wacky as fuck, like giggling at the TV and shit, or like
and like talking with her like friends. Like in a group chat and like sending audios to each other.
Shit, okay. Tripping, man.
Also, like fighting on Facebook comments. My grandma has. Watch out, people, because my grandma has fake profiles on social media just to troll people and like troll hate,
Damn, bro, this is one
or
text.
like not hate, but like she like always argues. She just argues. If you post something political, she will argue against you, even if she agrees with you.
Hell yeah, man. She's just there to like fucking like set fire, bro. Just like erase some hell.
Yeah, man.
Bro, damn, bro. I mean, somewhat respect, bro. I guess, dude. That's kind of crazy. being like devoted to your crafts, man. to the death, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, she's got a lot of time in her hands, At that point,
for sure,
it's like, fuck it, let's fuck with some people. I'm old as fuck.
For sure, man. I mean, I guess see, like that's one of the things that like also happens when you just kind of like when you just like so comfortable in your own like your own like situation, and like you know that you can do whatever. You almost start to feel like untouchable, and you start to get like this almost like super high ego complex,
And it's also maybe because like
you can get away with anything,
It's also maybe because like I don't know, maybe shit gets old, Maybe it doesn't affect you anymore.
Right. No, in this case, yeah, man. Like in this case, like getting old for sure, man. But I'm also talking about like it also happens in the sense of when you get too used to doing something.
Yeah.
Like at any age,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You start to get like cocky with it, man. Or you just almost, especially like let's say if you're doing things that aren't particularly legal, and like once you've been going for a while, it's very easy to just like get cocky with it and be like, nah, I'm safe. And that's how you start to like slip.
And then you get caught, or they get like on a fight or conflict, and they get their ass kicked or shot,
right,
or arrested.
Right, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, yeah, a lot of times it's like you're not like actually getting away with it. They're just kind of like building up the numbers,
or they fall into like hardcore drug addiction, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, there's no way out of it.
Yeah, man, dude. Yeah, man.
Like the only way out of it is like to just not get involved in that, you know.
I feel, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like your comfort zone has a lot to do with like your ego as well, man. It's a dangerous thing when you get like too comfortable and your ego
Getting out of
gets
the
too
comfort
high.
zone also humbles you up a lot.
Yeah, exactly, for sure, for sure. It's an important like
If you're humble,
growing experience, man.
if you're humble, you accept that you don't know everything. And when you really accept that,
Mm.
it really makes you feel like, oh shit, there's so many things that I want to learn,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then like it changed, dude. Like I was raised to want to learn,
Yeah.
and I think that was really amazing. I've I've noticed, you know, like I've noticed how my family does that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they always have raised us to like want to learn,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
to want to like just like find out.
You know, it's really cool, man. Because like I would say, like learning is a skill. You know,
Yeah,
it's a skill that you need to learn about yourself. You know,
yeah,
so you need to like learn how you learn.
yeah, man.
You know.
I'm always observing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like, when I walk on the street, I don't know. Man, I don't know if I look crazy as fuck or like high or something. I don't know. But like, I'm looking at everything and everyone, but not in like a creepy way. I don't stare at anyone. I'm just kind of like glancing at everything. I'm just kind of like absorbing it, you know?
Right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like looking at the world through like a child's lens and being like,
Yeah, just
what's
completely
going
open
on?
minded
Yeah,
and like,
what's
what's going on in this world, you know, around me.
yeah.
And like, I don't know, man. And then all of a sudden, like, someone approaches you and asks you something,
Mm.
and they say something funny.
Mm.
And like, I don't know, man. And then okay, good luck, you know, bye. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That shit, I don't know, energy transfer there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely,
And
man.
that's why, like, getting out of your comfort zone. A lot of people, like, don't like getting out of their houses. You know, when they get out of their houses, they're, like, with headphones and with their phones. And they're just walking around. Or, like, calling someone, and they're just, like, there. I use my headphones to listen to music, but, like, I'm always, like, with my head up, you know? My eyes wide open, dude.
No, yeah, man, I get you, man. I feel like the best kind of like memories, or I guess the most unexpected like fun times that I can recall, I've always like come about whenever like I've given like strangers just the time of day, you know. And I just kind of like decided to like stop and actually talk to this one person and just kind of like see what's up. And even if we didn't actually become like friends, man, like I actually ended up having like an adventure or two, you know, like with them
Right,
that one night. And it kind of like made things memorable, you know.
right,
And
right.
it's cool, man. It's cool to see. Like it's like experiences that would never have come about had you not like taken that step outside of your comfort zone just for that one little bit, you know, and just kind of like allow somebody new to come in.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. You miss out so much because, like, the infinity of things going on around us on a near distance, and then like beyond, it's like farther than that, it's just crazy. You
Mm-hmm.
know? But because we're so many,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no two of us,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So like, there's like so far 8 billion possibilities, and all the possibilities that have already existed if you were dead.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And because 8 billion is nothing compared to that. You
Yeah.
know?
No. Right. Yeah. And everyone has lived like separate lives, completely like individual, different lives.
Mhm. So like you got trillions of already lived lives and lives living right now,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no two of
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Facts.
Yeah. And That's
I mean,
scary,
dude,
bro.
honestly, thoughts like that really just do put into perspective the idea that like what you have to offer, like at least to me, I feel like whenever I think about that, it puts into perspective the idea that like what I kind of bring to the world is like a unique experience, and like so like I feel like if I don't like try and share this as best as I can, I'm also kind of like missing out on part of what I'm here for. I don't know if that makes sense,
Not just that,
I do
though.
like feel
Not
like
just that, though,
a
but
drive
like,
to kind of push my like creative kind of like vision into the world.
right.
That's kind of
But not just that, but like, you also deny yourself of like learning so much of others, dude. From others. Like, you learn a little bit, at least from every person you meet and interact with.
Yeah. Also, yeah. That's what I also
Have you ever interacted with a person for like 2 seconds and then left, they ask you for some directions, and like something stayed in your head for the next like minute or two about that person. You're like, oh, or something they said. It's like, oh, interesting. Something they were wearing, maybe a shirt that says something. And you're like,
have.
it's like, oh no, I'm from this place. And you've never met someone from that place. And it's like, oh, that's cool. And now you know someone from that place that you've never known before, ever.
Okay, I see. Okay, yeah.
You're like,
When
you
you
always
actually meet
learn
somebody,
something. Yeah, man. And maybe they tell you a little bit, yeah, I'm from this place. I came here because of this and that. It's like, oh, that's cool, man. Like,
dude. Here's the thing, and I dare anybody to tell me that I'm wrong about this, yo. But, dude, meeting people from different countries is the same as unlocking freaking like towers on a map in a video game. And unlocking the world like bit by bit, dude.
yeah,
That's literally it, man. As soon as you meet somebody from that place becomes like reachable,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's
It's
like
real.
done.
It's real to you.
Yeah, like all of a sudden like that connection becomes is like made, so you actually have a way to reach it,
Yeah.
and like you realize that it's actually not so difficult or so distant, man.
Yeah, man. It's
Like
cool
that's
as fuck.
yeah, man. That's one of the main. That's one of the main like reasons I feel like were like motivators for me at least to kind of just talk to people, like interact, and at least like give people like at least a time of day, because you really never know who is gonna unlock what for what like in the future.
No, it doesn't
What's
mean
gonna
like go
happen.
out and trust everyone and like say hi to everyone and you're gonna get your ass kicked or robbed. You do that.
No, it's more about
That was too loud.
yeah.
What
No,
was
but
it?
it's much more about actually like being, I guess, nice and decent and just giving people the time of day. Like I'm talking like when people come up to you and like or when you have the chance to interact with somebody, being like nice and welcoming. But you never know what it can mean for yourself or like the other person, and that's kind of me.
Right. Also, think about this. When you want to get out of your comfort zone and do something that you might be scared and you're procrastinating about it and it's something that you know that you should be doing, like if you have social anxiety or if there's a big project that you're working on and you like don't even know where to start because you feel it's something beyond your skills or like you feel overwhelmed by it or something, just like try to like take a break at that moment. 1 minute, 5 minutes most. Relax, and then like think that like the reward is gonna be a lot greater than what you think, and then like you if you don't do these things, you're never gonna know, and like if you think you can't do it, like there's no proof behind it. The only way to find out is doing it, and if you can't, like no one's gonna kill you and judge you and put you in jail because you can't. Yeah, man.
Continue.
Forgot, man. Forgot what it was.
Damn, bro, dude, that's too bad, bro. Shit.
What were we talking about?
What you talking about?
Shout out to the Big Les Show on YouTube.
Hey, yo, Sassy.
Yeah, Sassy Satisfaction.
If you haven't watched it, check it out.
Yeah.
Highly recommendable.
Big Les Show. Les, like Lez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. But anyways, man, so I feel like at that, maybe it's time, I feel like we call it an episode, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, this has been a good one, man. It's been a long one. we definitely talked a lot about. We definitely got really deep and personal about it, man.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
Whoever's been watching, thank you. And I mean, for the people that was on the stream, there were a few that I saw around there.
Mm-hmm.
And then people on YouTube or wherever you are, like, thanks for watching and everything.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for sticking to the end. and like us, follow. We're posting stuff on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. We got 2 channels: YouTube, Indicouch podcast and Indicouch clips.
Hell yeah.
So you can check out different content.
Absolutely, and as always, let us know if there's any topics you'd like us to discuss, or anybody you'd like us to bring onto the show. We definitely love to have some more guests in.
Yeah, man.
So with that in mind, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thanks again. See you in the next one. Deuces.